Now, do you guys remember this Lil Uzi Vert story that I covered last year? Uzi was facing some allegations that came from his ex-girlfriend, and now, over 6 months later, well, let's talk about it. Now, Lil Uzi Vert, before we get to what we're gonna get to, let's cover the story once again. So back in July 2021, some news broke that involved Lil Uzi Vert, St. John, and Uzi's ex-girlfriend, Brittany Vert. So the story was this. Lil Uzi Vert allegedly got into an altercation with his ex, Brittany, at a cafe out in West Hollywood, California. Singer and songwriter St. John was present during the situation. So St. John, Brittany Vert, along with 2 other people, were having some kind of get-together at this cafe in West Hollywood when the boy Lil Uzi Vert allegedly came out of nowhere and confronted them while they were eating. According to Brittany Vert's manager, Brianna, Uzi was furious. One thing led to another, and Uzi allegedly physically assaulted Brittany. On top of that, it was also being reported that Uzi allegedly punched Brittany multiple times and allegedly pulled out a gun and pointed the gun at her chest right before he did the dash. Now, why exactly he allegedly did all that, I don't know, but according to some reports that came out about the situation, Uzi was allegedly mad about some of the rumors that were going around regarding St. John possibly dating her. So like I said, Uzi was being accused of not only putting hands on his ex Brittany, we're talking allegedly multiple punches, and also he was being accused of pointing a gun at her chest. So we're talking physical assault allegations and some. So that's the story in a nutshell. Uzi allegedly confronted his ex Brittany while she was having a business meeting with St. John and a couple other people. That confrontation then led to, well, you know. Now, about a week after the story broke, Brittany Vert posted this on Twitter. "Don't y'all say protect black women, right? I'm a black woman." Now, the story went kind of cold after this. I feel like everyone moved on from the story very quickly. I most certainly forgot all about it, I can't even lie. And that brings us to what happened the other day. Now, the other day, we got an update on this entire case, so let's check it out. Lil Uzi Vert cops a plea deal in an assault case. Gets 3 years probation. Lil Uzi Vert took a plea deal in an assault case involving his ex-girlfriend and fellow rapper St. John, and he's avoiding time behind bars. So like you heard, Uzi decided to take a plea deal in this case. The Los Angeles County District Attorney's Office tells us Lil Uzi Vert pleaded no contest in court to win each count of felony assault with a firearm and misdemeanor injury to a girlfriend. The article continues by saying, we're told he was sentenced to 3 years of formal probation, 1 year of treatment for mental health and substance abuse, 52 weeks of domestic violence counseling, restitution, and a 10-year criminal protective order. Lil Uzi Vert copped a plea deal after prosecutors charged him with 3 felonies, assault with a firearm, criminal threats, and domestic violence, plus a misdemeanor charge of carrying a loaded firearm. Uzi's ex, Brittany Vert, filed a report back in July claiming Uzi put a gun to her stomach and then hit her. The alleged incident went down at Dialogue Cafe in West Hollywood, where Lil Uzi Vert jumped out of a Cadillac Escalade and confronted John, leading to a physical altercation. At the time, sources connected to Brittany told us she was discussing a business project with St. John when Uzi rolled up and confronted everyone at their table before getting into it with John. So Uzi copped a plea deal. Now, what exactly does this mean? Now, first of all, for anyone who doesn't know what a plea deal entails, a plea deal is just something a person who's facing a crime gets offered in the court of law if they want to avoid the case going to trial. So in this Lil Uzi Vert case, what does that mean? Does that mean that he's guilty? Well, someone who's facing a crime could take a plea deal and still believe that they're innocent. In that case, why would Uzi take this plea deal? Well, for the simple fact that he doesn't want this case going to trial. Now, Uzi has all the dead presidents in the world, okay? He got all the money in the world. Why would he have an issue with that? Well, presumably for the simple fact that he most likely knows that it would have not ended up in his favor, meaning Uzi is a man, a black man for that matter, in the court of law facing an assault case against his ex-girlfriend. Ain't no way he's gonna beat the case. Ain't no way. Now, Uzi could have been thinking, man, I'm innocent. I didn't do what they're saying I did, so I'm gonna take this plea deal because I don't want to lose this case in the court of law and face time behind bars. On the other hand, Uzi could have 1000% been guilty, meaning everything they're saying he did that shit. So he could have been thinking, oh man, I did that shit. I put hands on Brittany. I pointed that gun at her at the cafe. So I'm going to take this plea deal because I am in fact guilty. Now I'm just trying to paint a picture of what this means for Uzi in this case, which is why I'm telling you all this. The conclusion I've came to as far as this, number one, I'm not going to defend Uzi one bit. I'm not going to parade for him in this situation. On the other hand, I can't really say that he certainly did all this because I haven't seen the proof. the security footage, whatever. Some additional perspective on this. First of all, I think this happened. I think Uzi did show up to that cafe, and I think he did confront his ex and the people she was with. If there was no truth whatsoever to that, the charges would have been dropped the same day they were filed because the prosecutors wouldn't have had enough evidence to take it this far. Charges getting dropped is an extremely common thing because sometimes people just make up shit. That's a possibility. So I think Uzi was there for sure. I think he confronted them as well. But what I can say for sure is whether or not he punched her multiple times like the reports claimed, or whether he aimed a gun at her, or whether he physically assaulted her. He could have done some of those things and others maybe he didn't do. That's not something you or I could say for sure because we weren't there. But one thing we can say for sure and assume is that he was there. He did something that he's being accused of. Because like I said, otherwise it would have not gotten this far. That aside, and this is just a bigger point I want to make, you guys don't know these rappers personally, and I'm talking to all the stans out there. It's one thing to be neutral because that's all we can do in this particular situation. However, defending Uzi and parading for him saying he didn't do that shit for sure, that's just not right because you don't know that. I guess when you're on the outside looking in, ain't no way to distinct the truth from a lie because we don't have all the information the court of law has. That aside, Lil Uzi Vert took a plea deal in this assault case. He was facing 3 years of probation, 1 year of treatment for mental health and substance abuse, 52 weeks of domestic violence counseling, and a 10-year criminal protective order is what he got hit with. But yeah, what do you guys think about this Uzi story? Like we covered, the assault case he was facing from last year has finally came to an end. Uzi was facing some serious allegations and he decided to take a plea deal in the end. Any thoughts on his story? Definitely let me know in the comment section below and let's have a discussion about this.